Oh my god, Christy
man.
hit us with the 9 p.m.
let you know that NCIS season's over.
I know Christy's back.
Christy's here watching.
Yep.
Can you stream to a group? You have to go to a page.
You can stream to the group. Why you think I should stream to the Walnuts group?
Sure, why not?
I've got to set that up. I don't really like doing that right now.
He's like, already hit go live.
Here, I'll invite Christy, and then she could just join the stream, then stream it to the.
I mean, either or.
I don't know. Yeah, probably should set up a stream to the group. We'll get around to that. But no, I've been following this other podcast that came up my stream. I don't believe everything they said, but they have done some really cool, neat ones, like the are incels a product of the left or the right, and they did like a good breakdown on it, and it was very interesting. I'm gonna just break down a different studies from it. So
I mean, I like listening to other people's perspectives because, again, I only know my perspective in the small group of perspectives I see around me, and then seeing how some people conceptualize things in comparison.
Yep. Hey, Ace, yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Welcome back, Ace. Yeah, everyone's coming back after that.
Season's over. Yeah, I guess I have nothing better to watch on a Monday.
Maybe we should just take a break. That's when we should break.
No football, no NCIS.
We want to do the podcast during the summer. We'll cover the WNBA and everything else that's going on.
If we just streamed that stuff while we were playing, they could just watch that while we're talking.
What? With the WNBA?
Whatever you want to
and just put it at the bottom.
Yeah. Closed caption turned on. Yeah.
We just talk to the commercials. Yeah,
we just crowd it.
Yeah, just have it going off to the side.
They have it underneath where our heads are, or just make it like a fourth box of NCIS.
Yep. Yeah, do something like that. Anyways, hello everybody, and welcome to an exciting new episode of Low Key on the Wheel of Potential Network. My name is Harry, aka the Moving Target, and it's going to be an exciting new episode. I'm just going to get ready to post what I want to talk about today, but Vincent hit me with the combo breaker and put in the his topic for today, which is honestly, I enjoyed this topic too. This was also a great read because I knew a couple of these projects going on, but I know this massive treasure.
Yeah, what a list of things on both ends of those.
So this should be interesting. This should be an interesting show. Like always, I don't hardly do anything solo, so I bring everyone else along with me because I don't like being alone. I like being with friends. I like to do everything with friends. Everything is better with friends. So I'm also about Reinhold. Reinhold, fresh off his being off the Big Show, he did a double over the Big Show last week.
Yeah, I did a double, but I kind of held back on both of them because I wanted other people to talk instead of just me.
Reinhold holding back his power level.
I got told to be quiet. For some reason, Chris thought people would want to hear what Abdul had to say instead of me, so I held back as much as I could.
You showed him your comment section law license, right?
My Facebook law license.
Well, your Facebook law license, your medical degree. Yep, that's fine.
My PhD in virology. Yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine, just like everyone else. I'm also a constitutional scholar.
Always.
Yeah, we say this as a kid because you don't really need any of these credentials to argue about this stuff. And you can look up stuff and research stuff.
The fact that it seems to be if you do have the credentials, no one wants to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, anyway, if you have the credentials, anyway, you could get banned. You could get banned for talking about what stuff you want to say. That happens too. But it gives you the right to say 20 years of experience doing things. Ban that person. Anyways, the other person you hear with that famous laughter, Vincent. Vincent, want to say hi?
Yes, I'm also here. It's actually hilarious you guys brought that up because there was a whole Moist Critical thing where he did the Terrence Howard thing with his Terrenceology math. And in his video, he was talking about it. He's like, I don't understand why people are willing to listen to this man talk for hours, and then somebody studies math for 20 years and they go, I don't believe you. You're indoctrinated by big math. Why would I listen to you? You've been studying math for 20 years. Obviously, 1 × 1 = 2. Obviously, don't you know?
Yeah. That's all
It's
right.
just common sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the okay. So that's like when I get an argument with people like the flat Earth stuff. Like to me, when I first started, like I said, I would say anyway, like the flat Earth stuff, I thought it was a brilliant thought experiment. So you could justify in your head that you instead of being just told the Earth was round, that you could actually mathematically prove it, understand the theory, understand the math about it, and I thought it was great. I thought this whole thing was about, until I realized these people out here that really think the freaking world's flat. It's like,
well, you see, we're on a disc inside of a dome. You see, and
yeah. I forget who said it best. It's like, if the world was flat, it would work, but all of our math would have to change. All of it's broken. All of it is broken. Doesn't make any sense. Why we do the things we do if the world was flat?
Right, like, but that's the issue, is when it's in theory, when it's a fun concept, and people go, what do you mean theory? That's real. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, that's not how that
Believe
works.
everything you're told. Come on. Well, you're telling me this? Yeah, but I'm not lying to you.
Are you telling
Like
me
all these other people?
If I drop something, it will go down? That doesn't make any sense.
Get this noise out of here.
That just doesn't. That's not realistic.
Yep. All
That's
right.
bullshit.
Yep. Anyways, Ace had actually been staying up late playing the final shape expansion for Destiny 2. Oh, okay. All right. I don't play that game, and I'm glad that you enjoy that game.
I think it's like the final DLC. I think.
Is it? Did that game come out like 10 years ago?
No, not that long ago. I think probably
7 or 8.
Jesus, they're still putting DLC on it.
Maybe.
Oh, talk about bang for your buck, man. I'm over here playing Paladins. I just hope they get the servers working. I clearly backed the wrong horse.
Got a new expansion for Guild Wars 2 is coming out in a couple months.
I know. I have gotten 2 different emails about that. I was like, man,
you're gonna get player housing.
I want you to know this. I want you to know I did set up my workstation so I can play Guild Wars while I'm at work. Like, maybe I'll just play while I'm working, like in meetings. Oh crap! There's people at work that listen to the show. That's a prank call.
In theory.
Only at lunch. Only on my lunch break.
Yeah, on my lunch break.
In theory, it's a concept.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine came over when I was working early a bunch of years ago, and he comes over and says, "Are you playing World of Warcraft?" I'm like, no, I'm just checking the auction house on my lunch break. That's all I'm doing. That's all. Look at the prices.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should play with. Maybe I should make Ryan play with me on a Friday so I get back into Guild Wars 2. Mm-hmm. Not this weekend. I
just show you all the stuff.
I've jumped in a couple of times, but I have no idea what's going on. Lion's Arch is weird. I get lost. I'm like,
what's all this stuff in my bags? What do I do with any of this stuff?
So much stuff in my bags. And then
you can get rid of 90% of it.
Yeah, a lot of it's junk. Some of it's worth a whole bunch that I have, like some of the classic stuff I have. Yeah. Anyways, how about you introduce it? What
component storage is good?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of great quality of life things. They did nerf some of my abilities, which makes sense because the thief was broken when I was playing it. Needed it to come down some, and it has, and
I was actually, my character was actually broken for about 3 months, and I loved it, and then it nerf hammer. But at least I got that one little period of time where I could actually enjoy things.
Yeah, that's like because I don't know, the Guild Wars 2 one was the rogue traps. You could, like, when you did like the roll reversal, you could just you put the trap down, and you could snap back all the way halfway across the map. So like you summon back, then hit the ultimate, so you summon two others. So you come back, you summon a thief of your level, then you summon two more thieves of your level, and you just jump anyone who's in there. Just jump them. Just jump them. They instant jumped. Anyway. Anyways,
yeah, it's gonna be a completely different game for you.
Yeah, I can't do any of that crap now. I was like, I might as well just start over. Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll make Ryan stay up and with me and play this game. So I figure out how to play this game. Anyways, Vincent, would you introduce the topic? Now we're almost 10 minutes in.
No, you're fine. So this kind of is a jumping off point off of a thing I briefly brought up the last episode. There was a YouTuber in Mother's Basement who does a lot of who does anime things, and he released a video where he was talking about how the original Full Metal Alchemist isn't on any streaming sites. Brotherhood, which is like the remake, like the Redux, is available. One of the movies, like after the original series, is available, but the actual original series of Full Metal Alchemist isn't on any streaming sites. And originally that he found that you could find it on Fandango Go or whatever. That's actually a dead link. So there's literally no way to legally get Full Metal Alchemist, the original series.
I hate that you put that legally part on here.
Raise the banners.
It's true.
I was gonna be like got it right here.
Yeah, no, there's no like, so getting it like any through legal means. There's no way of digitally getting the original series of Full Metal Alchemist, and for most part, you would have to either get the very expensive at this point DVDs, because that wasn't Blu-ray at the time; it was DVDs.
You can still watch the Netflix Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, that's still up.
And Brotherhood's still up because for a lot of people, they see Brotherhood as like the definitive one, even though the original series what got a lot of people into the Full Metal Alchemist in general. Yeah. And it's something and it's crazy how something so iconic that the internet has just adapted parts of Full Metal Alchemist as part of it, like, a girl and her best friend, her dog, and it's a terrible day for rain. And just general references to this series that is now basically gone from the internet. Legally. It's the most important part, to say legally. And during the transition from Crunchyroll taking over Funimation, there's like a extended list of series that didn't get transferred over, or if it was just the dub or just the sub got transferred over, but not not both.
Oh god, I knew that the whole takeover was just brutal.
Yeah, so they have this list that was updated in April has 189 series on it that didn't make the transition from Funimation to Crunchyroll. And some of them are things like the original Steins Gate. The original Steins Gate didn't get brought over in the transition. You can still get it on Hulu because Hulu has it because they made Steins Gate 0. But like Escaflowne and some of the other series that people like Harry, who's been around for a long time, and I'm name dropping things that hurt him right in the heart.
This is why bye.
The dub of Gurren Lagann didn't get over either.
Yep. I think I kind of. Well, at least now I got a reason I can't finish the series.
And stuff like Fooly Cooly. Fooly Cooly didn't make it through. The original one that was on Toonami that people got that didn't make it to the transition either. There's a bunch of series that didn't actually get transitioned over. So there's a lot of things that have become like a lot of anime that's become lost media, especially in the West, because of a lot of licensing issues and a lot of licensing problems where somebody is holding the license and it's just gone.
Correct.
And for the longest time, there was no way of watching Ava because the license holder was locking it down and holding it forever.
Mhm.
And it wasn't until Netflix showed up and dumped a bunch of money after the Gygax split up to actually pull that series out so you can actually stream it and watch it digitally.
Yeah.
And then so that became like a thought process and a jumping point on to thinking about just a lot of media that's going away and disappearing, because you also talked about like with WB getting rid of a bunch of Cartoon Network animation series, that like this Infinity Train season 3, which is just gone into the ether, or like the Wile E. Coyote movie that was done, that is gone now, and
Yeah.
nobody will ever see.
Yeah.
Or at companies that like have closed because of mismanagement or things that other people have done.
Yeah, and that's like what's some of the worst thing is like some people in the West buying licenses and sitting on them because they want to turn them into either like crappy live action things for Netflix or movies, or just want to, they just got it in a sale or something else, so they're just sitting on holding on to it. Luckily, they only Netflix if Sony the crap out of some things. You know, we're not, you know.
Or you'll have the issue like Disney will buy a license and not promote any of the things they buy the license for.
Oh yeah, that's happening in Doctor Who in like 2 more years. Everyone knows this, right? Like Disney's gonna sit on.
They're just gonna sit on it and not like.
They're gonna go like, this show's expensive, and just sit on it. And they're gonna lock it in the vault next to Cinderella, and then when a bunch of people are like, give us the next series, please, they're like, how much?
Like it's crazy because like last year, one of like the most acclaimed animes of last year that came out was Heavenly Delusions, and that was exclusively on Disney Plus. And Disney didn't translate the title. They left it in Japanese as the Japanese title of Heavenly Delusions, and just threw it on Disney Plus. So English speakers who wanted to find it would have to search up what the Japanese name of it was and then pull it up on Disney Plus to find it. And that's without advertising any of it.
That happens to be for like so like the first half of when I was watching Descendants of Darkness the first time. Yeah, like I couldn't find the other half of the series because they just stopped translating the title. So you just like Descendants of Darkness didn't come up, but so yeah, this type of Minobisui, and I was like, crap.
Right, and
which was beneficial because that's how I found out. That's how I grabbed the manga. I own that now.
But that on top of the Western stuff that like the TV shows that have been that you can't find anywhere because Tubi has the right to it and they're just only going to show it on Tubi, and you have to get a Tubi subscription to watch or whatever.
Whoa.
Or the 17 different subscription services of like, you have to watch this on Paramount Plus. Yes, we have like nothing else on here, but you have to buy it in order to watch our show.
All right, we're going to have to fact check Vincent in real time here. All right, first off, sir, you will not spread fake news about Tubi. Okay, that's free with ads. Okay, there is no pay subscription. There's no pay subscription to Tubi. I've looked. I'm tired of the ads.
I don't want the ads. That's fair. Shows you that I don't use Tubi.
I do because they have licenses to some old anime that I like to watch. And they have a license for it, and I have to go watch it there.
Lock it down.
Like for the longest time, I forget, someone was sitting on like the English version of a dub of Inuyasha. You could get Spanish and original Japanese, but no one had the English dub. I was like, what's going on?
Right. But this also combined with my thought process of the preservation of media and how a lot of these things that are solely digital are just kind of going away, was also the basically announcement that Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League lost Warner Brothers more money than it cost them to make the Justice League movie. And they basically said that the end of their roadmap is when they're going to stop, basically. And so that game's probably not going to last more than a year,
Yeah.
So that's probably just gonna go offline, and the 100 people that play that game are gonna be able to access that game anymore.
Yeah. It
And so it
sucks.
kind of so it kind of spiraled me to thinking about the preservation of a lot of games and TV shows, and how at this moment in time, a lot of some of the only ways to get access to these old shows and animes and things like that is through pirating.
Which we don't condone or
No.
support it anyway.
But see, the issue is that there's a lot of people that at this point you kind of have to do it. It's the only way to have access to it. Like if I wanted to watch the original Full Metal Alchemist, there's no way for me to watch it. A lot of series you have to buy them on the Apple store to watch it. Escaflowne, you have to buy it on the Apple store. That's the only way to digitally get Escaflowne, by the way.
Oh god. So yeah. So I end up having to. Yeah. So all right, keep going. Just go.
Or you'll get series like there's an anime series for this season of anime called I believe it's called Girl Band Cry, and it has no dub in the West at all. It wasn't picked up by anybody, so there's no legal way to watch it, translate it with subs, unless you follow the fan subs. We're going back to fan subs, Harry.
It's 2024.
Going back to fan subs, or the English dubbed version of the Indonesian version of the anime. The English subbed version of the Indonesian version. That's the only way to get subtitles for this anime.
It's 2024. We shouldn't have to do this.
Right. That's my point.
We shouldn't have to do this. This is ridiculous.
Right. So things are just getting lost because of licensing or people holding on to things and letting them die.
We didn't have licensed squatting.
Yeah, exactly. Think about how many, like, what sucks that Rooster Teeth closed down. At least Warner Brothers didn't just go, we're just going to hold on to this. I'm going to put this back here.
Because they could have.
Yeah, it's like no Ruby, no Red vs. Blue, none of that stuff. It's just going to sit there because we want it to sit there because we might do something with it eventually.
Yeah. It's not
it sucks that they closed it down and people can buy the IPs again, but it's Warner Brothers just went, cool. Ruby's gonna sit in that corner for 100 years. Good luck.
Yeah. And it's not like the first, like I said, like not the first like studios have like sold or brought things down, just sat on licenses and just has done nothing to it. They're just like, this is ours now. We're going to hold on to it. Everyone else can go get that.
Right, exactly. The Ava situation as I brought up, like
Ava,
once
Hi-Fi Rush.
Yeah. Oh God, poor Hi-Fi Rush.
That's good.
But seeing these things kind of just disappear, it also connects with a lot of gaming things because now we're in a digital age of a lot of games needing servers to play them and play with other people, and because you need the servers up.
Yep.
And the only real way for a lot of these games to be preserved is fans creating servers or fan created content to bring new life into all these games. One of the things that happened with the Fallout show when they did the update for Fallout 4, because they were going to update the game for whatever reason in a way that didn't even work the way they wanted it to. The people that have been working years on Fallout London that they've dumped years and years into hit a massive blow of a setback because half their stuff broke. Because they're like, like, oh, this game is done. It's like, oh, well, now here's a new update that breaks everything.
We're helping. God damn it. Yeah, it's a product of like the live services of a lot of the games that have gone into it. Like, and it's the inability to, you know, like make our own servers to like block different things that are happening. And there's only a few like of the good tier stuff that is out there.
Right. Or you'll have people who have to try to rebuild the code. Where they have like just bits and pieces of what they found, which I'll get back to in a minute. But then but when you also look at stuff like there's a lot of games that you can only really play through emulation at this point. There's a lot of hard copy Super Nintendo games that are $1,000
Yeah.
for you to play in your. If you want to play Earthbound, are you ready to drop $500 to get a cart of Earthbound?
No, I'm not doing that for Earthbound.
Right, exactly. That's my point. Like an old game that some people don't know about. There's a bunch of games that just cost an absurd amount of money, or they were printed in such a small quantity that they're just kind of gone unless you have emulations of it.
Yeah.
And when you have, but then you also have the other side of it of the emulation that the Yuzu that Nintendo shut down was better than the Switch. The Yuzu was like a Switch emulator that ran the games better than the Switch did.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, because I was one of the people that complained and moaned about how dog crap the Switch runs Minecraft. Like I have Minecraft on the Switch, the cartridge, and throw it in the Switch. It runs ass. And I was watching. I watched people play it on the Switch and realized like, oh, this is emulated.
Yeah. Like the Yuzu, like the biggest one was when Bayonetta 3 came out, and it was like a Switch exclusive.
Yeah,
and it chugged on the actual console, but you go on Yuzu, you can play it 60 frames a second at 4K with no stuttering. Because it just was better optimized for these games and able to use all the content of the games. So you'll end up so emulation ends up being some of the only ways to play certain games, but also emulation's only the ways, like let's say I wanted to play Mario Party 3 with you and Reinhold without coming together or making the distance travel or making sure we have N64 controllers with joysticks that aren't broken
and
from playing Mario Party.
We'll talk about the stupid controller things. I care, but I don't.
Right, but
I feel for them, but I don't care.
Yeah. But with the emulation, we can just go, cool, I loaded this Parsec up, and then we're all playing the game together online. Which Parsec became really popular during COVID because people really couldn't interact with one another.
Yep.
So it was some of the only ways people were able to play games with each other is through the emulation of them. So
how much of this stuff can you find on Archive?
What do you mean?
Archive.org. They are holding a lot of old games. They're holding a lot of old videos, things like that.
Some things are there, but then there's some games like
is some of that stuff there.
Some of them are there, but there are other games that are just kind of obscure games or things that you don't really see often. But then we also go into a whole other aspect of it of the games that required it to be online, like MMOs that shut down, or game or multiplayer games that required servers for you to play with your friends. And as
rest in peace, WildStar.
Well, that's the thing, Reinhold, is that there's a bunch of people making their own servers for these MMO games. And
I've been on the new WildStar server, and I've actually played WildStar for a little bit recently. It was kind of like, okay, I missed this. It's nice to have. It's not fully implemented yet, but it's actually like I jumped around the starter zone and played around a little bit, and I was like, I remember why I love this game.
But I will go ahead and drop this in the Discord once the episode's over. But it's like a list of 64 games that were it was updated as of April 29th of this year, of a list of just MMOs that were shut down, that people have gone out of their way to make their own servers for, to let people play on, and that they're either hosting it privately or they've rebuilt a server that you could play the game on just straight up. Or there's games that they've rebuilt it from the ground up based on code and information they already had from the games they already bought. That there's this bunch of these games that were just gone. Like City of Heroes.
Yes.
Like you want to play City of Heroes? People have made servers for it for you to hop in and play City of Heroes. You know,
Great game.
one of the ones that I know that I've seen a lot of people play is Phantasy Star Online, Phantasy Star Universe. They brought back Phantasy Star and brought that back to life, and they put in a lot of time and effort into getting that running and going.
I think the big hero of all of them was WoW Classic, because a lot of time the WoW community was running their own classic version of WoW. You know, just to show people how people wanted this older version, and then eventually Blizzard goes like, "Hey, we can do that too for money."
And don't worry, we'll make it pretty good, because last time we tried to make it different, it blew up in our faces and everybody hated it.
Yeah.
What? You don't remember Warcraft 3 Reforged, Harry?
Oh God, Blizzard. We know how to fumble the bag.
They're like, we fumbled it once, we shall not fumble it again.
Fumbles it twice more. Damn Blizzard. Why? Why are they so bad at things? Why are they used to? Well, because they're busy doing other stuff. That's why they bad at things. That's why they bad.
It's okay. They're getting bought by Microsoft, which is also bad at games too. So, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's true. I guess.
If you listen to Pirate Software, he used to work for WoW. He's got some really good horror stories.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of just MMOs out there that people have rebuilt servers for. They've seen some games that have come out and they're dying, so they just go, "Here's our code. Here's, you guys run your own servers. Here's the information for that." There are people
which is why I really respect NCSoft, because they're still running servers for Guild Wars 1.
Yep.
You can right now just go on and play official servers. And you can actually get achievements that then unlock into Guild Wars 2.
So, which is really neat.
There's not very few companies are willing to put the money into doing that as a thing, or because a lot of times the servers cost money. And even if you look at games that were successful, like Power World, who when they first released, they were like, "Yeah, no, these servers cost us like $1 million to run."
Please run your own.
Dirty Bomb, when they shut down, they shut down their official servers, but before they did, they saw that they were going down that path. And people were asking for a community server, because they said, we want to have like servers where we can make up our own rules on how the matches play out, right? So they started doing that. They started renting those out, and then they shut down their servers and said, "Oh, these community servers will handle it. And as long as there's people playing and people are paying, the community rent, we'll just keep everything going." The game's still going. People are still playing that game. I see people jumping into it all the time. Now it's probably like 100 people routine that are just they're playing it, but they're still playing that game. They still love it. So
more to Payday 3. Okay.
Right, there's a bunch of games that there's still dedicated servers to old shooter. Like I saw a list of games that still have dedicated servers from Giant Bomb, and there's some of them like freaking Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the original.
I remember one time I was after landing with a couple of friends, and I was talking about this old game that I had called Sniper Elite, and we was just doing it like landing and just shooting each other, and they realized, holy crap, there's people on these these community servers out there still, and we end up getting in and just getting murked.
That's what they do
when you realize
this is their game.
Oh, you move, you die. This is sniping. You have to snipe. It was a realize like but it was a lot of fun. It was also shocking to see all these people like still on and still playing. Unlike I would say like what is it? Not Sea of Thieves. What is the stupid game?
Skull and Bones.
No.
The first quadruple A video game.
The other dead game.
I mean, we got a list of games that are Avengers.
You don't know.
Marvel's Avengers.
Sorry, I was going to say Guns of Icarus online.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Love that game. You know.
Yeah, it almost has become that the fans are the ones that have to kind of preserve and breathe life into these games that like have long since died. Think about the Vampire the Masquerade game.
Oof.
That people are still playing because the fans fixed it.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. You have to go in and get the fix.
The fan created fix for Vampire the Masquerade, and people still play that game on servers and role play on servers on the game.
Yeah. Without that fix.
It reminds me, there was a couple Magic the Gathering games that used to come out like once a year on 360. And I enjoyed playing those games. But then they just disappeared off 360, and you can't get them anymore. So.
Yeah,
because their time was up and nobody could play them anymore because they got cycled out like a Madden game.
Yeah.
Well, they were putting out new versions of Magic the Gathering, and they didn't want people playing the old stuff, so they just killed it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they killed the new version with the new version.
Yeah,
of course they always do that.
Oh yeah, you've got to kill the old version.
Not enough microtransactions in the old version, so I had to put them in the new version.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like, so the game, like a lot of us play, is especially the Discord, is Paladins. Love Paladins, and that's like always gets me worried about doing anything in Paladin or spending money. Is because like I know and they know and everyone knows that it is a matter of time when we're going to boot this game up and we're going to see a message like, hey, this thing's going down, and we just want to be able to run our own servers and do everything else beyond this because we really do like this game. Or they just tell us like, hey, we've got 5-year plan. I'm willing to give them tons of money, but like I don't know if they've got a 5-year plan. I don't know if they got a month plan.
It's very interesting to watch games, just go away, or for reasons that are out of the game's control. Like the Friday the 13th game, right? That Friday the 13th asymmetrical game where somebody played Jason, everybody else played campers, right?
Yeah.
That game got pulled because it is in licensing hell. It's in limbo hell. So if you had it and you played it and you liked it, can't play it anymore. It's gone. Yep. You're stuck playing Dead by Daylight, which is hell in and of itself.
Trash for trash people.
But it really feels like a lot of the preservation of things ends up coming down to the people who like the things. So one of the things about emulation is that a lot of times people are having to pull old games and pull them out of their cartridge, the information out of the cartridge and share it online, and so people will download it and play it that way, as if it just the same way as you would if you were going to try to get a anime that has gone away.
To be honest, what I did was try to back up my physical copy, and I accidentally leave it public. I left my backups public.
On accident.
I'm not sharing. I'm backing up my software, and I accidentally left it public.
And it's really crazy to see what people who really enjoy these ideas and concepts are willing to put their time into without any money coming back to them. Right. A lot of the times when you have stuff like for Tetris, right? There was somebody saw a video who did the world records of Tetris, right? Somebody made a mod for Tetris to actually keep track of the full score of the NES Tetris, because once it hits a certain number, it rolls over and you can't track the score anymore.
Oh,
It
no.
hits all the nines, and the score can't be tracked anymore.
It just rolls over.
Right, it's just stuck at all nines, and you have to figure it out from there.
It sucks.
So somebody made a mod that let you actually see the score of it, and then there was also a point in where, well, it was an interpretation of a Game Shark code that you could use for the NES that would change the first number into like an A. So you hit 9 and it'll go to A because it needed the next list of numbers. So it'd go start with your score would be A and then B and et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of people who play it now, they use a version that has the score available. You can see the score. You know what your score is at all times, especially when they do yearly tournaments for whoever's the best Tetris player is.
Yeah.
Which is, well, that video is crazy. The kid who got who was the first person to beat the game, and and the kid who had who hit the wall.
Yep. Nuts for this basic game.
You know, apparently there's a bug in the original in the NES Tetris that once you hit a certain level, you have to after every 10 lines, it goes to the next level, next level, next level. Once you hit a certain point, there's a bug in the code where you have to clear 887 lines before it goes to the next page, next level. And it's all the same color, and you just have to keep clearing lines to get to the next level.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
But
yeah, there's actually been somebody who's beaten it that they know of so far, right? I think that's the theoretical limit that they can get to.
No, the theoretical limit, they create a theoretical of beating the game, which is getting the game to crash.
Yep.
So there's the first kid who did it, and then the guy who came up with the concept of crashing it also got the crash, and then somebody. So now they're aiming for what they call rebirth. So when you hit a certain number, it goes back to 1, and it goes back to the regular speed game. And in order to do that, you have to get through the wall of the 887 line clear, where you have 2 frames to move your pieces at any given time. So that's where the next goal is hitting the rebirth, which is insanity. Going from this is impossible to maybe. But it really comes down to a lot of the fans who love the things are the ones that preserve the things. Because a lot of the corporations will either lock it away or they'll end it and don't care about it. Things will get thrown away without much reasoning, or they had a very short-sighted plan for something thinking that it was going to work and it didn't. So with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, that game came out, it was a bad game already, and they had to dump millions upon millions of dollars into this game, and they're not going to get anything in return, so they're just going to throw it away. And they had a very short-sighted concept of what to do with that game.
And somehow, I'm getting cut screens from that game on my Facebook feed. I don't know what kind of algorithm hell I fell into. I'm getting that daily.
Jesus Christ. What have you done? What have you done?
I don't know.
But then you get a lot of games that get a brand new life because fans put the time and effort into updating them. So the only reason we got Metroid 2 Samus Returns, the official game that they've re-released on the Switch, is because some fans redid the Game Boy game, because it was original Game Boy, not Game Boy Color. It was black and white. And they redid it and recoded it and made it themselves. And then Nintendo goes, "You motherfucker! No, we're cease and desisting, and then we're gonna release it ourselves." because it's obvious that people want it, so we want it.
It's a gentle cease and desist.
Well, if it wasn't for the fans, there wouldn't have been a Deadpool movie.
Right.
Right.
If it wasn't for the fans, there would be no X-Men 97.
Anyways.
There's so many people who, when they think of the X-Men, they think of the 94 show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you to picture Rogue in your head, you think of Southern Belle Rogue or Emo Girl Rogue.
I do not think of Emo Girl Rogue. I'm sorry.
From X-Men Evolution.
No,
but that's just a different level, and there's the gap of generations here.
But I remember what was her name? It was the young version of the X-Men.
Jubilee.
And she had Jubilee. That's it. That's the one I remember the most. From
she's from the original.
And
X-Men.
Gambit. Yeah.
Those were a lot of those characters got. Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah. Maybe you should get the thing together, make a PAL World TCG game, and try to get them on board with it.
Well, yeah. There's a story behind what he just brought up. Is that basically the Nintendo has like the worst trading card game version of that, where they hired people in to do it. They really tried, and then they decided, you know what, we're just gonna do it on the cheap, and it's terrible. It's terrible. If you want to know more about that one, there's a YouTuber called NerdSync who does a Death of a Game series, and he did that. And there's a bunch of these games that are dead now that fell on he's recovered on the Death of a Game series of things that came out and then why they failed. And usually it's MMOs or multiplayer or online multiplayer games. So that's fun. But yeah.
I think one of the good things that also did come up was speaking of City of Heroes, the City of Heroes Homecoming, which happened, which they actually got a license from NCSoft to actually host. Because when City of Heroes went out, I played that MMO. I played City of Heroes, City of Heroes. It was a hero MMO. You sat there, you created your heroes, generic powers, creative things. It was a lot of fun. The role-playing servers, I think, had the most fun. I played a character called the Roman Decimator. I would only decimate crime. So if there was 10 people in the room, I would beat up one and then just stop. Just stand there. Pose. I did my job. I would heal, of course. Naturally, I'm just going to sit there doing nothing. But I would just sit there like, oh, I destroyed one.
I did my part.
The Roman Decimator. They should run in fear. But you see, so the role-playing aspect was a lot of fun. Well, when the servers shut down, everyone was very sad. And then apparently, unbeknownst to myself and a lot of people in the community, is that some people behind there decided to run their own private underground City of Heroes MMO server to get people to come in, show people how to get their files out so they actually can continue playing the game. And after a while, I think they did it for six years, and then NCSoft, they finally, got in the whole. I don't know exactly how the conversation happened, but NCSoft finally gave them a license to all right, here's your license. You can officially host a server. No, you cannot charge. We're fine with you taking donations, but you can't charge people, and you can run these servers. So yeah, it's a great thing. I think one of the other series I did was S4 League did this for the longest time. Running press for I loved S4 League. I think S4 League was pinnacle. I think a lot of the people who play Androxes and Paladins would have loved S4 League. It was a game where it was a team shooter, King Hero Power Shooter. People you could wall jump. And people had different abilities and a lot of laser swords in it and armor. Freaking love this game. Look it up. It was freaking amazing. And it was all anime. It was Genshin Impact before the Genshin Impact gotcha style. Anyway, it wasn't a gotcha game. And they had cool modes where one person it was 10 on 10 people in the server, but it was 9 versus 1. Where you couldn't die, right? You got points by killing them, and they got points by just doing damage to you, and see who wins. Which honestly, you just get the sword and you just own them, just beat them down
Beat to death.
because you can't kill them. So I just get a couple of ones that use these shots and you just instant death.
I need to check out, see if Rift is still running. Because last time I checked, it was still up and running.
Let's see. Well, it's not. It doesn't look like it's on the shutdown list here of private servers.
I think it was
But
about a year ago I checked.
it could still be up, you know. But there's a lot of these games that have just kind of been around, or they had a very small burst of people who really, really enjoyed them. Like, here's one that's actually on this list, which is one that I played, which is Rusty Hearts, which was a side-scrolling beat 'em up MMO. It was like Devil May Cry, but as a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Let's see.
Oh, you can get Rift on Steam now.
But there's just a lot of things. Yeah. PlanetSide. People who actually like the PlayStation Home for whatever reason.
Yep. I opened up Edge. You guys aren't flashing me. Okay.
You see Rusty Hearts, action combat MMO.
Yeah, a lot. This is a really cool list that you brought up. Was
Star
like
Wars going.
Mm-hmm.
Tabula Rasa, I remember that game.
Yeah, this is a bunch of these old games.
Wild Star.
Yeah, World Star. Oh, yeah.
It looks like there's 2 separate servers of people doing that for Wild Star, by the way.
Which one is the? Yeah, the I've been on the one that's been in development for like 4 years now, or 3 years.
Yeah, and they have like their servers online, Discord, their Discord servers and stuff. Yeah, it's really cool to see just how much people love these certain games, that even though you put your time and money and effort into playing a game for years and years and years, there's still people who are willing to also jump in on the thing that you loved.
Right, yeah.
And that's the only thing about this that's kind of annoying, is that when they do die like that and you go in, like I went into WildStar, of course, none of my files were there. So like none of the stuff that I had accumulated, none of my, achievements, all that stuff is gone. My player housing is gone, that sort of thing. But you still play and get the experience of the game. That was fun.
Right.
That was the part that's missing.
Right. Yeah. Because there was some of that with like when Final Fantasy 11 like came back, I was like, oh, I miss having all my stuff. All these people I've met, but like, man, it was just fun to be in the game and playing it again, though.
Like having that game that you just really like that's why I when people do go out of their way to mod old games to make them interesting again. Like there are so many people that have gone through like a bunch of the old Pokemon games and modded them so that way they can keep playing the same game over and over again, because they really liked that particular. It's usually Pokemon Emerald for some reason. Like that's the one that I guess it's just the age in which people are now, and when that game came out, I guess that's why it's that. But it's usually like, here's Pokemon Emerald, and there's like, well, here's Pokemon Run and Bun, which is just, we decided to make all the put almost every Pokemon that ever existed in the game, and we've gave them all competitive sets from actual competitive players. They set up their teams, and we made the AI even more intelligent to actually compensate for the fact that this is what we did. Nice. Or then you get people that try to make their own Pokemon, which Pokemon Uranium, which got pulled down, which was a thing. That whole thing, but
it's fine. Hey, I'm still at Rat or Die Blue. Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Is if people love these things, they'll keep them around. And emulation, at this point, is probably the only way a lot of the modern day people are going to play a lot of the older games. Like it's, unless they end up with a parent who's already into retro gaming, they're not going to have it. They're not going to just have it in their lives. It's going to be, they're going to show up and go, well, I want to know what the first Mario game was.
Yeah. I think I blew like some of the kids' mind when I opened up I took out the PlayStation, the original PlayStation and put in Jet Moto. They're like, what the f- is this? It's like Jet Moto.
What's really cool is I can go to archive.org right now and you can go into the list of their games.
Mhm.
They actually have a lot of them streaming. You just basically go to the page, click on the button, and it plays inside the web browser.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of nice. And then you can get on collections of games that you can download and stuff like that, and do your own emulation. But like right now, I can go and play Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is like one of the original text-based Zork type game. No, it's text-based Zork game.
It's text-based, right?
Yeah.
Even before the point and click.
And it was so much fun. Trying to get the Babelfish was like a challenge a lot of people had to get through. It was really well done and well written, especially if you read the books. So
right, or the people who like the Sierra point and click games, which are always interesting, but Sierra is just like not around anymore.
Yeah, I've got the floppy disk over here for So You Want to Be Your Hero 4. Right. And it's like, it'd been nice to play that again, but there's no way I'm pulling my floppies out and trying to load them into a DOS emulator. I don't even have a floppy drive that'll work. But if I can go somewhere and just play it like that,
exactly.
that's pretty fun. So
I've got a floppy drive that still works if you ever need one.
What was really cool was when Bard's Tale 4 came out,
mm-hmm.
they redid and re-released Bard's Tale 1 through 3. And you got it with the game. So I've got in my Steam, I can go play Bard's Tale 1, Bard's Tale 2, Bard's Tale 3. I'm like, all three much better games than Bard's Tale 4, but still, I enjoy playing all of them. So
I just noticed they have the Red Dog Linux dump for PlayStation 3. I was looking for like a backup of install file for that thing. Mine now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is that we're kind of at this point where a lot of the older games, unless they get a remake, which usually isn't as good as the original, because it's just because they change certain aspects or certain things, like the original Banjo-Kazooie Crash Bandicoot got messed up because they took the physics from the third game and spread it across all three. And the physics were slightly different in all three of the Crash Bandicoot games from 1 to 3. So the Crash Bandicoot 1 was significantly harder in the remake because the physics broke. Because the physics weren't the same as the original game, so things that you're supposed to do just didn't work the way they were supposed to.
Like Ace says, yellow was my favorite. Soul Silver being a close second in terms of Pokemon games. Having my Pokemon follow me was awesome. Yeah, that was always fun.
What I'm trying to do is find all the original actual arcade games, like not the PC ports of the arcade games. I'm like the actual arcade games, because you can get those emulated now on like there's a company who's doing like small little form factor ones, but it's still it's the emulated versions of the actual arcade version of the games. I was going to buy one of them, except because mainly I want to play Galaga. The cabinet that they have has the buttons on the wrong side. And I'm like, I'm not playing. No, the button. If the buttons aren't on the right with this joystick on the left, I had the joystick on the right with the buttons on the left. I'm like, nobody ever played games like that. What are you doing? you're killing the experience now. Yeah, that'd be really nice to have that stuff. So,
but I mean, even like the arcade that we have in one of our malls here, right? They have one of the machines just has an emulation of a bunch, like 800 other arcade games they didn't have cabinets for. Like I think it has like all of the Street Fighter Alpha series and Darkstalkers and the JoJo game, the JoJo fighting game, just like
my wife's cousin, he bought from there's a place in south of Greenwood. I can't remember the name of the place, but it's they do arcade reconstructions, but they also do like full size arcade cabinets with the big screens, and you can tell them what emulation you want. They'll give you all the games you want emulated and pop it on there for you for a price. So
Nice.
He's got one of those. So I was over there one day. It was just like, hey, I'm just gonna go hang out over here, play games for like 2 hours.
Yeah, don't mind me.
You guys
This is
talk.
where I'm gonna be. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's when you have things that people love, like Legend of Dragoon.
Mhm.
Unless I go get a PlayStation 1 and find all 4 discs, we're gonna play that game. It's a good game. It's a fun fight. It has great combat mechanics for a turn-based RPG. Where you actually use the button presses to
Mhm.
make specific combos, and the button presses are different based on which moves you use.
God, I used to think
Yeah, I
that game
remember
was
years
so
ago, I
long.
used to. So I had the DOSBox emulator, and I was looking for those old games. It used to be harder.
Mhm.
Now it's a lot easier to do because Archive is doing it, so it's easier to collect those now. But I remember finding a copy of Mule and another copy of Railroad Tycoon, and I was like, oh, I was so happy. I was just playing those in emulator, and it was really a lot of fun. It just brought back like 30-year nostalgia.
Right, and then the only way for you to play The Crew is through emulation, because Ubisoft said you didn't own that game, so they removed it from your library.
Yeah. Didn't own.
So
I never owned that game.
you never owned that game. It was it might have been in your library, but it's not there anymore.
Oh,
So that's what I mean. Emulation, and then the reason that a lot of like the
my wife's
What?
Street Fighter games stopped going on Steam Family Share. Like I can't play them, like because she bought a bunch of the Street Fighter games on her Steam profile, and I can't just use Family Share to get to the games. I have to actually log into your profile to play Street Fighter.
That's weird.
It
You
is.
got rid of that?
I don't know. Like I could still play Street Fighter, but I only have to log into her profile to play Street Fighter.
Yeah, but
Sorry, I know.
no, you're fine.
Weird tangent.
Yeah, no, there's a reason why certain things are only available to One Piece fans. Because they have to get them in a very particular way that only One Piece fans can deal with.
Yeah. If you want my treasure, you can have it.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to raise the black flag to get what you need. And if I want to watch Full Metal Alchemist, I'll watch it the way I need to watch it.
Because a pirate is free.
You are a pirate.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had the pirate movie. How about that? How fun was that?
Oh, did you? Who was that one person that says like no one's pirating the Acolyte? So watching some review and they're upset because they actually had to go get Disney Plus to watch the Acolyte review it because no one was pirating it. And it was like, I just want to make sure you guys know it's not that they are like encoded and they're protecting the Acolyte. There's no one's pirating the show.
No one's care.
I was like, ouch. It's like, man, that sucks. It's not even worth stealing. Well, that's what you get for hiring Weinstein's former assistant.
What? You don't like the Jedi fighting somebody who has a knife without using their lightsaber?
You know what? That could have been cool, but they did not make it cool. That did not look cool. That scene could have been cool. That scene could have been awesome. Okay, all right.
Enough about that. We'll deal with that later.
I've watched so many cool old school kung fu movies, and that could have been awesome.
Have you guys watched any of that?
Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
I've heard that the critics like it. That they got review bombed pretty hard. So.
Yeah, I got reviewed, but we got reviewed bombed in both directions.
Don't worry, Reinhold. They just know that Anakin blew up the Death Star, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, that guy needs a vacation.
That is a real thing. One of the cast members for that show, in 2 separate interviews, said that when you watch Anakin blow up the Death Star, it was so iconic.
But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, Fallout was great, and the people playing in the Fallout never played the game, didn't know anything about it. So
Yeah, no,
have to
no,
know
yeah,
anything
yeah.
about
Fallout's great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the
Have you got any further on
what?
Fallout?
No,
Have you got any further?
no. What part of I'm watching with my wife, and she's content to watching one episode a week, maybe even 2 weeks if she's
I know.
busy.
I'm just saying it's been about a month since I asked last. I was just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah, people
No,
watching
no,
several
no.
other one episodes of other things.
Right. I finally got to episode 2 on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm still trying to get through episode 4 of Delicious in Dungeon. You know,
That's a great series, by the way.
I'm
All
like
you
my-
have to do is watch it on your own, and then when you watch it with her, act shocked, like, I can't believe that happened.
obviously you've never played Among Us with me. I haven't seen my lying skills, which I
Yeah,
have
Harry's
done.
the worst liar. It's different. It's different.
I did play poker with you once, so I have to give you some. Yeah, here.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah, I think I won like 4 straight hands and he quit.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have it. I'm just not. I just don't have that in me. I don't. I just don't. Anyways, this episode's getting longer than 2. So how about you wrap it up? Wrap it up.
Enjoy the media you have. If you have Blu-rays and DVDs, download them. And sometimes you just have to, and believe in the One Piece and share your information out there to people who need it. Sometimes you can only get things in ways that you have no other choices.
Yep. Right on.
And watch Delicious in Dungeon. It's a good series.
Sanitize your Adobe files so that they can't be used. That's what I'd say.
I canceled Adobe.
I'll say there's a tool where you can run it against your images on Adobe that you create, and it basically destroys them. It can't be viewed through AI anymore. It like puts watermarks in there, but they're watermarks you can't see. Only computers see them.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of like prevents them from being usable.
Nice.
So
Nice. Yeah.
People are out there doing that now because they're very unhappy.
Well,
I wonder why.
We can talk about that next week. Let's talk about the Adobe, Microsoft shooting themselves. All these big companies are shooting themselves in the foot because of this gigantic, stupid push for AI. Let's do this next week. Then, especially because I've seen a lot of people thinking about talking, and they're just working on the idea I think I might have to switch to Linux next year. I'm like, welcome.
Well, just letting you know, next week it might be Rhinebot doing it for you. So I'll be in here with Rhinebot.
Okay.
Instead of me, I might be away.
Oh my god!
But my AI will take care of it and be on the show.
Are you going to be out next week? Oh, we could use. You know what?
No.
We've got backup, right? I got a backup, right? Hold on. I forgot I got a backup one. I got one. I bought one on Temu. I got a backup, right? That'll be fine. No, okay, all right. I see what you're doing. Anyways, too many other. Yeah, we can do that. That'd be a fun episode because Adobe's trying to change their stance right now, and then
we didn't really mean what you guys thought. We meant. I mean, every time they do that, they come out and people yell, and it's just like, well, you're just misreading it. That's just legalese. That we're not really trying to do what you think we're trying to do. I'm like,
yeah. Just like the OGL is like, I see your explanation, but we can't trust you right now. Yep. Anyways, what did I will say this, so one thing with media and also purchasing and stuff like that is which Netflix screwed me over. I thought I was going to try to use this lesson to my daughter so she can spend her money and buy physical media, teach her this thing because she's really into card captors, and card captors going away off of Netflix streaming, and she was really worried and upset that it's going away. She see the thing counting down. I'm like, good, this teacher that streaming is pointless, it'll go off, and then she will be on with it, and she'll convince her to buy card captors DVDs, and then freaking Netflix renewed it. Bastards.
Of course they renewed it.
Bastards. Anyway. Thank you, everyone who's been watching this episode. If you made it this far in the episode, you're a true key holder. And I'd like to thank you because you didn't listen to anything else in the world, but you decided to listen to us for the last hour. And I thank you. This is a live podcast recording at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Mondays. Come hang out with us. We're on twitch.tv/wearelibertarians and youtube.com/wearelibertarians. Eventually, I'll get this thing to stream to the Facebook group. Now we don't have the Facebook page, the big Facebook page anymore. That was sold off to Nichols, but that's okay. You can have it and all the baggage that comes with that page. He will soon find out that ring is
heavy.
Should have cast it in the fire. It's already starting a little bit. He's gonna learn. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I noped out of there weeks ago.
It's I'm sticking around for the show. I wish him all the best, but like the lessons that we all learned from having that page, and now he's gonna learn. Anyways. But like I said, we wish him the best, and we're just here to help him out. And be like, see, not so easy, is it? Libertarians are a fickle bunch. You can't please any of them, so you only can please yourself. Okay, no matter what you say, you're wrong. Anyways, thanks everybody. See you guys next week.
Bye, guys.